for the masses.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army.
If the game is rigged, change the game. Game changer.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
This is Fade to Black with your host, Jimmy Church, on the Game Changer Radio Network.
All right, kids, Fade to Black. How you doing? How you doing? Today is Monday, November 24th, 2025. In case you didn't know, I'm your host, Jimmy Church. What is cracking, everybody? Another brand new week here on Fade to Black, short week. It's Thanksgiving. Tonight, Holly Hall joins us, astrology, and we're going to do some predictions and some other fun stuff. Tomorrow night, Jason Quitspiracy 14. Or is it? Wednesday night, Stephen Bassett joins us. We're going to talk about this new movie that has come out. It's a documentary called The Age of Disclosure. And that is Wednesday night. Always fun when Mr. Bassett stops by. And then Thursday, we are off air. Just like the rest of you, we will be celebrating Thanksgiving. Yeah, I'm gonna spend Thanksgiving at a friend's house. I'm not gonna say which friend because there are stalkers out there that will be waiting for me as I pull up. I can't even do that anymore. I can't have that kind of fun. Yeah, but anyway. That'll be Thursday, and if it's warm enough, and I'm hoping that it will be, I'm gonna ride my bike out. Yeah, I was telling Bill in the chat, like a baller, man. I'm gonna roll up on my Harley, pop open the saddlebag, pull out a couple bottles of wine, like a baller. Yeah, that's gonna be my Thanksgiving, and it's a bit of a drive, but I was considering, first off, it'll be really cool to roll up on my Harley. But the second part is, how cold is it going to be? And when are we going to eat? And am I going to ride home in the dark at 10 p.m. when it's like 20 degrees outside? But all of that pain has been alleviated. We've got it all worked out. So, yeah, I think I'm going to ride my Harley out. And it's going to be a lot of fun. I also posted, I want to get straight to the show before, because I just love hanging out with all of you guys, and I could just sit here and babble, and Holly's going to sit there going, man, what's up with this dude? Just yapping about himself. Yeah, I know, right? It's my show. Is Gaia, my TV network, who I just love so much. Gaia, it's just amazing. Gaia sent me for Christmas the gnarliest, coolest Harley leather jacket. And I didn't know, what size, so I get this thing, a couple of weeks ago. What size? Oh, what? Okay. So anyway, comes today, it arrives. It's insane. It's insane. So I'm going to post pictures on social media. You got to see this jacket. I'm serious. And I got lots of Harley leather. I didn't have this. Man. Yeah. Christmas came early. So that was the start to my day. And we've got a great week coming up. My next event coming up is the Conscious Life Expo. I'll be hosting this now for the 12th, 13th year, which is February 20th through the 23rd, 2026 at the LAX Hilton. The links for that and everything else that I am doing in 2026 are in the comments and description below. Okay, so, one last thing before I bring Holly in. Holly, just be patient because this is really cool. Esperanza, is she in the chat? Is Esperanza in the chat? Somebody tell me if Esperanza is in the chat. I don't have the time to go back and look. Esperanza today. Just get this email out of the blue, right? Hey, Jimmy. And I said, oh, wow. She goes, oh, And she is okay. So I'm not going to say what the email said, but it was it was very cool. And I wrote her back and I said, I thought you knew all of this. She writes me back. She goes, no. So anyway, but in the email, she wanted she asked me my schedule for Beyond Belief. And I said, well, it is nothing going on in December. We don't shoot in December, but February, March, April, May, June, July, August are all booked. And yeah, very excited about that. And like I said, my schedule for 2026 is below, and we have managed to work everything out in between this very complicated schedule. So there you go. All right. Let's get started. Tonight, Holly Hall joins us, astrology tonight. One of my favorite subjects, and we're going to jump into some predictions too as well. And here's the deal. Astrology, I go back to science on this. Now, stay with me. All right. When you deal with a really good astrologer that understands what is going on, both Eastern, Western, okay. Is when I say science, it is the cosmos, it's planetary positions, it's all of that. But science and physics will say things like there is no free will. The way that the universe is building itself, that's all math, that's all particles, that's a combination of things and molecules, and things are created, and it's all math and whatever. So if that's the case, all right, if that is the case, then astrology is just as solid, if you have a good astrologer, is just as solid as what the scientists are trying to say about the cosmos and physics and astronomy and the universe and everything else. You want to take out free will, then go listen to an astrologer, and they're going to tell you how this is going to play out based on, I'm going to say, science. So we're going to get into all of that, including tonight, the meaning of life, karma, past lives, maybe a little Akashic Records, just to make sure we're covering all of the bases. And she is, without a doubt, she's a soul physicist. What did I just say? Now, not only a claircognizant intuitive, an astropsychologist who blends ancient wisdom with modern insight to decode both world events and individual life paths with the unique ability to see patterns in human behavior. All of that and much more. I would like to welcome for the first time to Fade to Black. Get ready, Holly. We got you in here. How you doing?
Jimmy, I'm good. How are you?
What's going on?
What's going on?
Okay, you're doing your American accent. I knew you'd pull that, man.
I told you, I got both. My mother's
man.
Hungarian. My dad is American. I just happen to be born in Canada.
Wow. Hey, so tomorrow night, we were talking about Jason Quit earlier.
Yes.
And tomorrow night, Jason is on with us. Oddly enough, that we were talking about him earlier because you live outside of Toronto, so does he. But his accent, he's proud of it. He's proud of it. It's just really great. Not saying that you're not, but I'm saying he does nothing to disguise it. And he will lay it on thick.
It depends on what part of Canada you're from. It changes.
Stop. No, man. Anything north of Chicago.
It changes.
Anything north of Detroit, anything north of Minnesota, it's all the same accent. Before we get started, let's get this done. You get the first time guest disclaimer, Holly, and it goes like this. And we need to do this so we can start the show.
Okay.
Holly, it's just you and I sitting on my couch having a conversation as friends. Where the conversation starts, it starts. Where it ends, it ends. But we're going to end as friends. Now, you have to accept so we can move on.
Am I what? Am I happy?
You have to accept.
I accept. Okay.
Okay. And you didn't even know what I said, but you accept it anyway.
You said we're sitting on the couch having a conversation, and anything that comes up comes up. And
Close enough. Close enough. Close enough. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. The idea that I laid out at the beginning of the show, because I want to talk about different types of astronomy and lay the foundation there and what you do. But if science wants us to understand and accept the ideas that they put forward about science, then astrology must be correct. Now, there's all those scientists that go, no. If what you are saying is correct, well, then a good astrologer is basing their stuff on your work, on the work of Isaac Newton and Copernicus, right? And that's the crazy part. If you can't have it both ways, right? It's either what you're saying, and astrology should be set, depends on your astrologer, of course, right? But astrology is based in science, isn't it?
It is, actually, because astrology and astronomy were one back in the day. And if you wanted to go to university before the mid 1800s, you wanted to take astronomy, you had to take astrology. If you wanted to take astrology, you had to take astronomy. It was part of the mathematics, it was part of the sciences. And in the mid 1800s, they took it out. They left astronomy, but they took out astrology. But it goes way back. Like, it goes way back to Babylonian days, and some say even ancient Sumeria, Lemuria, and Atlantis.
Well, I'll tell you what. I mean, this is something that has been talked about a lot. But the zodiac that was found in Egypt, right? I think it was Dendera. I want to get this correct, Dendera. So when you go up there, okay, here is a little history lesson. This is what is crazy. So you go up onto the roof of the temple there in Dendera, and you zigzag around, and then on the temple is ginormous, right? And on the roof, you go into this, and there it is, man, it's on the ceiling. And you look at it, and you're like, holy crap. It's a zodiac. There isn't any question about what it is. It's a zodiac, as modern as it's a zodiac, but it's not the original. Okay, are you ready? Frigging Napoleon comes in, takes that thing out. The original is in the British Museum. It's not at the Louvre. It's not in the French Museum. All right, it's in the British Museum. And when Napoleon went and ransacked the country in 1798, he's collecting everything, right? And he's got this pile, I mean, shiploads of artifacts that they have collected from around Egypt. When he surrendered to the British, because he lost that battle. So in 1801, the British come in and they sign a peace treaty with the French, with Napoleon. And in that peace treaty, this comes back to you in the zodiac. In that peace treaty, they said, the British, you can keep your plants and your animals that you have collected. All the other stuff is ours. And they took it all. They took the Rosetta Stone, right? They took all the good stuff, including that zodiac. And so the zodiac that is there in Dendera is a cast of the original. So they made a cast, they made a new one, and they brought it back. They didn't give Egypt the original and like keep the cast, which would have been the right thing to do. They give them the copy, and that's what's in the roof in Dendera. Yeah.
And how old is it?
Oh,
the original.
If I went to an exact date here, I would make an educated guess at 4,000 years.
Exactly.
Like right in there. Yeah, 4,000 years. 2,000 years back to the year zero, and then 2,000 years before that. Yeah.
And you know, if they're trying to hide it, it's got to be true.
That's right. That's right. And so that zodiac wasn't the first,
Oh no,
right?
there's tons of them.
Right. There's older ones. The question is, where are they? Have they been found? And so much stuff from Egypt and all the countries in the world where this kind of stuff went down. The stolen, looted antiquities, stuff that comes out of the ground. Once it comes out of the ground, if an archaeologist isn't there or a government official isn't there, that's it. It's not documented. That's it. It's sold on the black market. So there's no provenance. There's nothing to tie anything to any. And so you don't know what has been found and what has been looted because there's no official. And they figured that out very quickly with Egypt. This went on in China, South America. The black market for antiquities. You know what? I'm going to say this when I come back to the zodiac. Do you know what word is understood in every language in the world? One word. Every language understands one word. Antique. 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 Antique means the same thing in every language. So you go up, if you went up to we can get back to astrology. If you go up to somebody selling t-shirts in Cairo, somebody selling t-shirts in Peru, in Mexico, right? In England, in Germany, somebody selling t-shirts, and then you go, okay, man, where are the antiques? Oh, you want the good stuff? They all have it. They know what that word is, and they pull open the drawer and they present you with something that came out of the ground. And it's the same thing with that zodiac, and which also goes back to Göbekli Tepe, which is that's 12,000 years ago with that
There's
zodiac.
Tons of zodiac stuff there, and the temples that are underground in Turkey, and it's all over the place. And they were warning us.
Completely
in there, because they were telling you this is going to be aligned with that. And so all you have to do is wait for that alignment to happen, and that's when the prediction is.
Yep, and that's when it's coming.
Hello.
Let's go back into the history of this. Well, we're in the history of it, but how do you resolve with yourself? I've been wondering about this a lot. I talk about it a lot on the show, where you have all these different cultures from around the world that theoretically weren't in communication with each other. We're talking about thousands of years ago, that identify the same names and symbols for the constellations. How is that? How I go outside, I look at a constellation, I don't see a bear. I don't see scales. I don't, you
don't see a lion or
I don't see anybody pouring water out of a jar. I don't see it. But they did.
Because they associated them with gods.
That's too short of an answer. Explain.
Well, no, I mean, that's why they had those like symbols, because they associated them with gods and mythology. But I mean, you got me stumped. I have no idea how. I mean, it's the same with even the Bible or whatnot. There's similar writings in all different parts. Like the Great Flood I'm not a big religious biblical person, but the Great Flood is written in Ethiopian text, in the Bible, in Hebrew. Like it's all over the place. Right. So how does this happen? I do believe there was a time when we were much more telepathic than we are now. We've lost our telepathy. We've lost our mind reading. We've lost our connection. And there's stories that are passed on. There was still travelers. There was gypsies. There was travelers. There was stargazers, and they passed on knowledge and they passed on information. And if you really want to go down a rabbit hole, we may be part alien. So this might have been brought to us from, as above, so below.
Yeah, it's not going down that big not going down that big of a rabbit hole. I think that.
No.
Okay, so what type of astrology do you specialize in?
I did Western for about a couple of decades, and then I've been doing Sidereal for about 5 years.
Now with Sidereal, okay, so you change teams?
Yeah, I totally changed teams. So
Wow.
so
Oh,
sidereal is close to Vedic. It's actually in alignment with astronomy. Western is off, arguably about 11 to 21 days. And I always questioned it because I had a very specific past life experience. I got a scientific mind. Okay. I wanted to go into biology or psychology. I actually took psychology and philosophy in university, but I wanted to go into biology. So I'm very scientific as well. And but anyways, I had a very profound experience that I was a Eastern astrologer in another lifetime, if not many lifetimes. So I kept thinking, why don't I gravitate towards Vedic? Like, how come I can't get it? I tried because it's very different symbols, very different. It's in squares instead of a circle. But sidereal, it's in the language of Western, but it's in alignment with where all the planets are right now, which is what Vedic does as well. And it looks more like a destiny, king planets, things like that. So it's much more accurate in my mind. It's much more accurate.
if you quit the team, can you go back?
I
Will they
can't.
let you
It
back
actually
in?
irritates me when people go, I'm a Leo. I'm like, no, you're not. You're Cancer. Stop it.
Oh man. Okay. So answer the question though. Once you quit the team, can you go back? Will they let
No,
you in?
they won't let me in. I'm shunned.
I have so many friends, dear friends, many times guests on this show that pitch for both teams, or for one team or the other, I should say. And I don't know why. It's kind of like Canada and the United States. Let me explain. Let me explain.
Gotta explain that one. Yeah.
Okay, Canada really doesn't like the United States. They don't, and there's a lot of
It's not
reasons
true.
for it. Oh,
It's not true.
I don't
Not
play
true.
nice here. But
Not true.
down here, we barely know that there's a country up there.
Oh, I know.
Barely,
We're just a
and
loft.
that we don't have any attitudes about Canadians. We love Canada. I mean, what's not to love? I love Canada. But Canadians, they have a lot of reasons to be pissed off at us. I mean, the list is really long. And it's kind of the same thing with Western and Eastern astronomy. I think the Western astronomers are pretty peachy.
Astrologer. Yeah.
Astrology. I said astronomer, astrologer.
Yeah.
But from the Eastern side, they're not really digging the Western side. And it's strange, isn't it? Why do you think that is? Is it because one may be a little older than the other, and
There's a couple of different reasons. One is cultural. I have a lot of clients that are East Indian. I was fortunate to be endorsed by Dr. Shefali, and I just acquired a lot of East Indian moms, and they were terrified of having a reading done for me because they were born with their astrology chart done, usually by charlatans who charged their parents a lot of money, really didn't know a lot about astrology, and their parents lived by that chart, and it's usually doom and gloom, their charts, right? So they grew up tainted by this astrologer who did their charts. So they were terrified of getting one done by me. So there is a difference in whether you're the charlatan astrologer, which isn't always as accurate, or you're the true astrologer, the true Vedic astrology, and you look at what their soul was here to be born, what is their destiny, what is their king planet, where is their Rahu, where is their Ketu, where in Western it's North Node, South Node. Some things are very similar, like all of the angles are very close to being similar. Usually the ascendant is similar. The house placements, if you know the time that you're born, is the same, right? It's just the actual constellations shift. But if you go to stellarium/web.org, which is an astronomy site, you'll see right now that the sun is in a constellation that is not the same constellation as what Western astrology will tell you that it is. So it's just like a lot of people say, oh, we're going from Scorpio to Sagittarius right now. No, the Sun has actually just moved into Scorpio
I didn't
in the
mean to
sky.
get this big thing going on between Canada and the United States in the chat room. But it's just,
Don't even go there. No, we just came back. We spent a month in Florida about a month
yep.
ago. We're
I'm
going back
sorry.
in
I'm sorry.
February.
I'm
Like I
sorry
said, my
about
dad's
that.
American. I got nothing wrong. No problem. And everybody was apologizing to me. All the Americans were apologizing to me when they'd find out I was Canadian. I go, I'm not
Isn't
going to talk
isn't
politics with you.
who is Justin Trudeau dating right now? He's dating,
Apparently, Katy Perry.
yeah, Katy Perry.
Apparently.
How I don't, oh, I mean, I don't know.
I
I
think
don't
it's
know.
just a
I don't, I
it's
don't,
just a ploy. It's just
we really need
stunt.
to move
Hollywood
on.
stunt.
I am so perplexed with that. I am just absolutely perplexed. Okay.
It's
I
Katy
just,
Perry. She does crazy things.
but I have been to not every city, but I've been to every province, every state, or it's provinces up there, right? I've been
Yes.
to
We're not a
every.
state yet.
I've gone east to west and west to east, and hit everything along the way,
Awesome.
and I just love the country. Every time I go there, I've had a few hassles by Canadian customs a couple of times over the years, which really freaked me out. It didn't fit the mold of what I thought Canada was all about. But that's another point. But the people and the country are beautiful. It's just amazing. Every time I'm up there, I'm like, man, I'd move here. They wouldn't let me in the country, but wouldn't allow me to move there. But I would do that in a second. Canada's just wonderful. Okay, so back to the ancient side of this. When you say it's a few degrees off, that caught me by surprise. What do you mean by that? And that is ultimately must be a big deal.
It is a big deal. If you take a look at how our climate has shifted, they can call it whatever they want, but our spring is getting is later. If you live in a 4 season, but it doesn't matter where you live, you still get a spring, summer, winter, fall, and the cold is lasting. The warm is lasting longer, and the cold seems to be, coming later. And that's because we've shifted. I mean, it's the Earth is on an axis, it's on a wobble, and it is shifting slowly. The North Pole is shifting. It's going to take thousands of years before it completely shifts, but it's shifting enough that our viewpoint, our alignment, like look through a telescope and look at the constellations, they're not the way they were 2,000 years ago.
What does astrology help us understand who we are and
Oh yeah.
why?
It's like, if you want to know, we're all here on a destiny. We have a mission. Specifically now, there's 8 billion people on the planet for a reason. It's like all hands on deck, all souls on deck. So we all have a mission. And if I think everyone, except, not the charlatans, but everyone should know what their astrology says about them from the minute they're born. If you have a child, get their astrology chart done. You'll get them. You won't have to go through years of trying to figure them out. You know exactly what they're all about right from the get-go, so you can relate to them, so you can foster the best life they're meant to have.
I gotta really watch my step here. I have come to know a couple of astrologers that would come up to me and say something bombastic, like crazy town, right? Okay, man, in the next 3 months, we're going to have a comet and we're going to have the bubonic plague. And I've got to come on your show and we have to warn the world. Like, dude, no, no. And multiple times.
It's totally against actual ethics to do things like that to a degree.
And people, how do I say this? People are attracted to things that they resonate with. if you are going to prophesize some doomsday thing based on astrology and go public with it, and that doesn't happen, whatever chance you had of people resonating with you is now gone, right? I'm not wrong here.
No.
Right. It's just, and I've always said no to all of that. I've never done 3,000 shows. I've never done it once. I don't
Mm.
think.
The thing is that you ever play poker?
Mm-hmm.
You get handed a hand of cards, right?
Right.
How you play that card is those cards are totally up to you. The hand, what you got handed to, you can't change that. Okay. But free will, that's destiny. But free will is how are you going to play those cards?
Take
And
that a step
how
further.
are you going to react so that, are you going to play those cards so that people know that you're playing them a certain way, or are you going to have a really good poker face? Everyone is different. All 5 of you could have the same cards and you're all going to play them completely different.
Spot on the money. How long have you been like this? And I'm being very, very serious. Were you
Apparently since I
always
was 13.
13? How did you find out? How did you find
My
out?
mom's mom is the last of the gypsies to settle down in Hungary. My mother was literally a hippie tarot card, tea leaf reader, person. Both my parents were very successful business people. And she knew a famous psychic in Canada at the time. This is way before, television stuff, but he was very famous. And her friend wanted an answer to a question. And she begged my mom to call this guy who lived in Alberta and we're in Ontario. And he goes, there's a 13-year-old girl in your house. And they said, yeah, get her to the phone. So I came on the phone. He goes, you have psychic abilities. I go, no. Okay. And he goes, she's going to ask you a question. Just answer it to the best of your ability. And I said, okay. So she asked me the question. I gave her the answer. And ever since then, I was trying to figure out where my psychic ability was because I'm so scientific. I was like, to me, what I said to her was common sense. It wasn't psychic, but I'm 13, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And how did he know I was in the room and all this kind of stuff? So, yeah. So I was searching all the way through that. I've always been fascinated by human behavior. Always. I was quite the rebel. Wasn't popular for it. Did not like bullies. Did not like people who bullied. I was always standing up for them. And when I was 21, I accidentally discovered astrology, which I did not think it was going to work. A friend of mine said, you might like this. Here's a book, Astrology 101. The Only Way to Learn Astrology, actually, by Miriam Marsh. And I read it just to humor him. He was a stoic Englishman. I worked with him. I couldn't believe he was giving this to me. And I said, I'm going to read this. I'm going to take it to him and going, this is BS. I read it within a week. It was just before we had personal computers then, but they didn't have astrology programs and on a floppy disk. So I had to fill out a 2-page mathematical equation just to de-align my astronomy chart, just to know where all of it was. And I just picked it up like this. Okay, I'm not a bookworm. I don't even like math. And I just picked it up way too fast. It just, everything made sense to me.
And did you know that there was a Western and Eastern version, or
No.
this was just astrology to you?
No, not until I, found out that I was in my past life, I was a Vedic astrologer. Then I was like, oh, okay. And I tried to study it a couple of times, but didn't resonate. I get a lot of clairsentient when I'm doing readings, and I didn't want to mess with the program. I had it down pat, and I didn't want to mess with it until Sidereal came out, or I discovered Sidereal.
You know what's funny? I used to. I did the same thing like everybody did many years ago before you were born. There was a thing called newspapers, and you could buy them, and it was paper that had news on it, right?
Yeah.
And so so you go and you read the comics, but then right there it is, and I would always go to Libra and read. I'm a Libra. I guess you're going to tell me I'm not now, but okay. But let's just
You
stay
are,
with that. Okay, I am.
and
Okay.
you're not.
Okay, fair enough. But then I would go and read all the other signs, and I felt like I could have been any one of those.
Yeah.
And right, so I backed off, going, "Is this BS?" Now that now I know what I know about astrology, and I love it. Signs and houses and everything, people are completely different. If you, but I was almost, because of my daily reading of the newspaper, I was almost sworn off of astrology. I almost didn't take it serious until
I
I
don't blame you.
really jumped into it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
or what do you make of those daily predictions? Because
No,
I was reading them every day.
it's charlatan. It's general. You're not just your sun sign. You're so not your sun sign. Even in Vedic astrology, you're more your moon and your ascendant and your north node or your Ketu than you are your sun sign. It's
How
just that
many
it's easy to calculate it. Everybody knows what month they were born, so they can figure out, what their sun sign is. You have to do some digging to know the rest of your chart.
There are probably the majority of our live chat is fully engaged on this conversation. They understand they understand astrology and what's behind it. Others are going to listen to this show later in the archives, who also have a huge understanding in all of this.
Yeah.
You just got my information for reading.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
let's do that now. And okay. All right. For all of you astrologers in the chat, my birth date, everybody knows, is 10/10/1963. My birthplace, as everybody knows, is Waukegan, Illinois, only because I talk about this every night, Holly, on the show. Everybody knows everything about me.
Every night.
My time, yeah, every night they get everything. And my time of birth was 3:30 a.m. Okay, so you guys work on my chart in the chat. Holly's already done my chart. Let's see.
Yeah.
Let's see how this plays out. Okay, what do you got for me?
Okay, first I have to ask you, because we are live and everyone's going to see this, how personal can I get in regards to your childhood, your parenting, etc.?
Go for it.
Are you sure? Okay, good. No,
I
first of all,
just peed on myself a little bit. You made
okay,
me nervous. You made me nervous. Don't make me nervous.
just don't throw
It's
up a
hot
little
in
bit.
here. It's hot. It's hot. It's hot. Hot.
Okay.
Okay.
First, I'm going to talk about something that probably has happened recently. It would have been about April, May, June. Sorry. Let me make sure I got this right. Yeah. April, May of 2025. So something in April, May 2025 suddenly, unexpectedly jolted your career and changed your income as well. So it was beneficial to your income. Even though it was sudden and unexpected, it was something that you had been dreaming about, you've been manifesting, you've been trying to co-create. And that cycle is a 1-year cycle. It started in April, May. It's going to end. Sorry, when did it? Yeah. And it's going to end in June, July of 2026. And that's another catapult to your career. It's something that you're.
Do you know that? How do you know that?
It's
Wait a
something
minute.
unusual, not something that would have been expected.
How do you know? What?
Are you going to tell us what it is?
No, I can't. I can't.
It's going to blow you off the map. Let's put it that way.
It's already. What? How do you know that? No, only because it did happen in April.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What? I was just told in a phone call today about.
Yeah, because you're right in the middle of it right now.
The second version of this is happening on the year. And there is a temper. How do you know the April 26th? How do you know this? How what?
Well,
what the hell? Nobody knows this. You know who knows this? My agent. My mom doesn't know this.
Call me, agent. We need to talk.
What the hell?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What's next?
You're going to be busy. You're already pretty busy in the preparation, but you're going to be super busy. And what's happening as well, this is a movement. This is my clairvoyance coming out right now. Okay. So this is a movement, and your dream about this is a movement, and it's all to do with what's fair and what's not fair. So you got the good boy syndrome. So you grew up, you have the soul of knowing what's right from wrong, but also what's fair and what's not fair. And the worst thing that you can't stand is when there's injustice, but it's also wrong. Like it's black and white. It's that's, you can't deny how wrong it is. This is one of your greatest like issues, and you will go down rabbit holes because you got a good intuition, you've got a good psychic ability, but you don't trust it because school was difficult for you. You've got a bit of what they would call ADHD right now. I don't like to call it that. I like to call it somebody that's multitasking, multi-talented, multi-gifted, just a multi-curious person. You had a ton of questions when you were a kid. And somewhere along the line, you were told that's not proper. That's not prim and proper to ask all those questions. And so school was like, you had to literally tape up your mouth just to not keep asking questions all the time. You grew up with two parents that bickered back and forth quite a bit. They would argue about what's right or wrong, like till the cows come home. And that was the biggest lesson for you. You chose to have those parents on purpose because you were like a teacher, an educator, a philosopher, even a lawyer in past lives, almost like a Plato, Socrates type of energy. And you clearly knew what was right from wrong, but you wanted to be softened up as a child so that you didn't grow up telling everybody they're right and they're wrong all the time and get yourself in trouble, which you probably still did anyways. But growing up with your parents who were arguing a lot and bickering about what's right or wrong, you grew up going, sometimes it doesn't matter if you're right. Sometimes you should just stop talking. Right? And that was a big lesson for you. Your king planet is your moon planet. You're here to be a teacher, to be an educator, to pass on information, to be a speaker, to be a writer. And that's how you will, and in the public, because it's in the 11th house. So it's going to be in the public zone. Plus your North Node is right there. So that's also your destiny. It's your mission. If you weren't doing that right now as your coach, I would be bugging you about it all the time. I want you to start writing. I want you to start speaking. I want you to start journaling, like anything to get the word out. So this mission that's coming up, there's a book going to come from this as well, is a collective collaboration of sorts that you do have to keep under wraps. Like even if you told me, I wouldn't tell anybody because you do have to keep it under wraps because if it comes out too soon, it won't work. I'm going to stop now. Because I just go on and on and on. How's that resonate with you so far, Jimmy? That's what I would say to a client.
That's pretty spot on. Yeah. I could listen to you all night.
That's what everybody says.
Wow.
How is that with your parents bickered back and forth, argued?
Let's just leave that there. Yeah. Okay. The only reason for that is I speak about it a little bit. I do keep certain aspects of my life completely private.
I understand. We'll keep it at that.
Right. But no, that's spot on. That's spot on.
And there's a little bit of
my parents got divorced when I was 7 or 8, right in there. So, but even that's even a long story, but yeah, all of that went down. All just like, wow. Yeah. When you look at my chart, how does it feel to you when you look at it?
I love it. It's a great chart. You are a Virgo, but you have a lot of Libra in your chart, and that's why you have the good boy syndrome. You were such a people pleaser as a child because you didn't want to hurt anybody or upset anybody. You kind of lost your identity as a child, but you grew up and you rediscovered your identity. But you're fair. You're very fair. You'll give people enough rope in a negative way if that's what it takes, because you're very forgiving. And so you give them enough rope to hang themselves, but you're also very fair to people like you, even though, you're an MC and you're a communicator and you're a talker, you will make sure that everybody else gets a stage too. You don't necessarily have to hold the stage by yourself. So you were kind of behind the scenes for a long time, most of your adult life, until you came out. It kind of gives me the Elton John. I see, Source gives me such weird information. Gives me an Elton John feeling where he was a writer and he was a composer, and other people would, sing his songs until one day somebody said, "Why don't you just sing it? Because I'm not doing a good job," apparently, because he was arguing with his piano. And then he did. And that's what he should have been doing all along. So you're sort of got that Elton John where you were behind the scenes for a long time and then you finally came out. And most of that was because of that people pleasing part. And I don't mean people pleasing like you're a doormat. It's more about, has to do with just wanting other people to be happy. It genuinely is important to you that other people are happy and that other people get a fair shake.
You know what's interesting about this? Excuse me. What's just for transparency for the audience? I gave Holly my information and said,
10 minutes
save
before
it.
the show.
Yeah, 10 minutes before. Don't tell me anything right now. We'll do it live on the air. And the other part of doing it that way is, again, in interest of transparency to everybody. Holly came recommended to me from multiple people, and to my producer Michelle, and people that I know and respect that are friends of, but you got to check this, man. She's just, you got to. So, but you and I never spoke until a half hour ago, right? Oh no,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, an hour ago.
Now, yeah.
So, yeah. So everything that you just, I didn't know. We've never met. You know nothing about my back. Nothing. And that's absolutely fascinating. I'm a little bit shocked and impressed at the same time. Very cool. How
Thank
many
you.
people?
I'm honored. I'm honored with that statement and
But
acknowledgement. Thank you.
before you answer yes, is it like this with all of your clients? Think about your answer.
Ask them. They'll give you.
It is, isn't it? It is.
They every single time it's a jaw drop. Every single time, specifically first time clients, their jaw drops, and every time I'm nervous that this will be the one jaw that doesn't drop.
Right, of
time.
course. I do
Right?
that before every show. This is
Yeah.
tonight's my last show. This is it.
Yeah, that's it. I screwed up.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
and
I know.
usually they'll pause, and I'll be like, "Oh, uh-oh," and and then they start talking and they're crying, and they're like, "I don't know why I'm crying. Everything you said was accurate. It wasn't sad. It was, but you heard me, you see me, you know me better than I know myself." And I said, "Those tears are coming from your soul, your soul
Do
self."
do they do it the way that I did it? Like just give you a little bit of information and
Oh yeah,
that's it.
oh
And
yeah.
so you're going in
I don't
blind.
even look at their chart before I do. Like, I look at their chart right when I start doing the reading. I don't
Wow.
study it and make notes, or I don't have time for that. I do it right then and there because I needs to be spontaneous so I can get other information from source too. Because there's three of us in this conversation. There's
Right.
me, there's you, and there's something else out there that
Wow,
gives me information.
that is really impressive.
Yeah,
That's
thank you.
that's that's really all right. I have like 4 astrologer friends that I talk to all the time. All right, phone calls, texts, just to see how life is. Not necessarily, about astrology, but it will eventually come down to, okay, so Jimmy, you need some info. This is what's going on, and I listen, and check this out. 2 are Eastern, 2 are Western.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
so cool.
Yeah. I'm going to say this, and I've tried to get everybody to be buddy with each other. They're usually, because they're good, but they're usually the same. And they don't know each other,
It's
right? You
good.
know what I mean? But
Yeah.
it's pretty bizarre how their information coming to me is the same. And I do that. I do it at least once a month. Like I make the rounds on the phone calls, right?
That's awesome.
Yeah. So that's what yes, you guys are from different camps, but ultimately, if you are good, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The information should be very similar.
Yeah.
And yeah. I love
I
it.
got clients that come to me all the time. Like I got clients that buy 10 sessions at a time because they want to coach with me. They fire their therapist because they want to coach with me.
Sure.
And some clients I haven't seen for 2 or 3 years. And I will, let's say a year later, I'll do a reading again and they'll go, that's exactly what you said last time. You said this would happen at the exact same date. And I don't make notes of any of that stuff. I might make notes like she's a teacher and she's divorced and she wants to, get married and things like that. But that's all I do.
That was my next question. You're also a prophet and a medium because you just took the question right out of my mouth. How many have a set goal or idea before the reading, and how many go, you know what? Just talk.
Yeah. Half and half. Half go,
Is
I have no idea what I want to ask you. I don't know what to ask you. I don't know what, and I'm pretty much anything, like anything you can ask me. And then the first 10 minutes, like what I just did with you, is the first 10 minutes of a reading. And I said, if you don't have anything to say or anything to ask after the first 10 minutes of me talking, I'll be surprised. And they do. Then they want to know about their mother and their wife and their children. And, that's how I end up reading for them again, because there's just not enough time in 1 hour to cover everything. But yeah, and other ones are very distinct. They're like, I don't like my job. I haven't liked it for 20 years. I feel lost. I don't know what my mission is. I don't know why I'm here. Or
now
someone
that's a man. That's a man asking. Do
yeah.
women? I'm
No,
being
women
serious.
ask it too. Oh,
Do they
women ask
really?
it even, and women
I
ask
thought
it
women
even
only
more.
wanted to know about love. Women only want to know about
Well, because
how
I
to
was
get rid
endorsed
of
by
their
a child
man.
psychologist, I get one of the leading child psychologists in the United States. I get a lot of parents wanting to know about their children and their marriages and their relationships. That's the number one, but you're right. Number one, love. I always make a joke that all of my clients that are married want to be divorced, and all the ones that are divorced want to be married. Like, you
Spot
guys,
on.
it doesn't matter
Spot
how
on.
old they are. They can be 20, 40, or 60. It's the same thing.
There was I made this comment. I was out to dinner with some friends last month, and I don't want to give this away. I don't want to offend, because if they're listening right now, okay, I just can't be specific. Can't be specific. It's uncool. Anyway,
Change the name to protect the innocent.
two women that noticed this good looking guy right across the room, started talking about him, and one woman said to the other one, there is a lady out there somewhere that says, I can't get this crazy bastard out of my life. Right. And I just stopped and I laughed about that. Uh, Men, we don't necessarily go there, but to hear that the grass is always greener, isn't it? It's always greener. No
Yeah.
matter what. No
Because
matter
people
where
don't
you
know what love is. People don't know what love is, and people don't know what soulmates are. They just think it's what Hollywood told them it is. They don't really
Isn't
know what it is.
is that the meaning of life? Is love the meaning of life?
Pretty much, yeah.
What is your meaning of life?
It's to have unconditional love. But I mean unconditional love, not with a person. Like, I could look at a blade of grass and be just in love, And I'm in the middle of a bliss stage now in my life. So every once in a while I get in a stage of bliss, like for 4 or 5 days, where I'm just in love with everything, myself, which is very rare because I'm very hard on myself. I'm in love with the blade of grass. I'm in love with the winter, which I don't like, everything. So we want to get to that place all the time for no reason. You see, people think, if I got a job, if I got the money, if I got my partner to do this or do that, if I got that house or whatever it is, they think then that will bring them to a state of bliss. I know that sounds very cliche, but And I lived my whole life not in that state. So I know what it's like to not be in it. But yeah, that's where you want to get unconditional love. And that means no conditions. None.
I I I didn't used to be that way. I don't want to use the superficial or whatever, but man, I like capitalism. And so anyway, I grew this pomegranate tree in my backyard, planted it when it was that tall, right? Little thing grew, and just the most amazing pomegranates. But I was this tree's dad. Okay, you know what I mean? I grew this tree. I poured the water on it every day.
You loved it.
Watch it. And one day when the pomegranates started to happen, massive, beautiful. And I went out to the pomegranate. I would talk to it every day. And I went out and I pulled the pomegranate off. And I thought, did I just hurt you? Did that hurt me pulling this off of the tree? So anyway, pulled them all down, got I don't know, 100 pomegranates. And it was great. My gardener comes over and he goes, I'm to do some trimming. I was like, all right. And I went out and he's going up to the pot. I go, stop. Don't trim it. What do you mean? No, man, you're going to hurt it. It's got feelings. And I stepped back and I went, how did I get here?
Who am I?
What the hell am I saying? It's really strange how you get to that point when you just realize that's why vegetarians aren't all that spiritual. They kill a lot of plants.
Yes, they do.
They kill a lot. They don't give a crap about any plant's feelings. They just don't. But how many clients do come to you and go, okay, what's the meaning of life? And
I get a lot because they know where I come from, and they get to that level where they're just like, forget the car, forget the partner, forget the money. I want to know why I'm here. Like, what am I doing here? What is the reason that I'm here? I need to know that. If you don't know that, I'm going to tell everyone in your audience, if you don't know why you're here, you'll not be happy. And I'm not talking about you're here to, write a bestseller and it's going to hit 1 million people, or you're here to work a specific job. It's not about job. Like you could be a janitor, or you could be the president of the United States. And if you have a mission, you'll do it in any job. It doesn't matter what you're doing. You'll do that. But there are a level, and I was just reading for someone, I'm not allowed to say who it is, but you know this person and they're way up there, and I can't say who it is, but I said, if you and you as well, and there's probably about 10,000 of them out there right now, have been specifically born to pave the way, There are leaders, and they're the ones that are paving the way. And if you don't know what that is, and I've got clients and I know they're part of it too. There's so many different levels. It's, that'd be a whole nother show. But if you don't know what that is, and you're still cashing in the paycheck and you can't lose your house, then you're not going to be happy. And the reason you're going to blame it on your husband, or you're going to blame it on your kids, or you're going to blame it on your job, but it has nothing to do with that. It has to do with the fact that you're not living your purpose. And the reason you're not happy is because your purpose is a very, very important piece of the puzzle, a big puzzle of everyone else that's involved in it too. And you don't want to put a cog in a wheel. And when I get my clients finally on that track, on that path, their life is like changed forever.
Paradigm
Yeah.
shift.
And they can't go back.
It's so I try to have these conversations, not only on the air for the audience, but in private life too, as well. I try to lead by example. And one of the things that I stress, which has to do with everything, certainly about me, is my life from the moment that I get up until my head hits the pillow is about not experiencing anything negative. I don't do it. I don't argue. I don't fight. I don't listen. I don't observe. I don't, I don't, because it changes me. It alters my day and it throws me off my game. That is not what life is about. Life is not about being a dick. It's not. And when you get to the end, whatever it may be, you don't want to be in a position going, man, I wasted too much time being negative or being angry or
Yeah.
allowing that to affect me. All of that precious time could have been spent with a smile on my face, which is what life is about. Right. And that's it. That's my natural take on it all. And I don't think I'm flying too far off of the target.
No, because you do have a lot of Libra in your chart, and Libras need everything to be in balance. So they don't like things too loud. They don't like things too quiet. They don't like things, too intense. They don't like things too soft. If you're with somebody who's very loud and very obnoxious and you'll tend to be very quiet, sit back, not say anything. If you're with somebody who's very shy, very reserved, you'll be the one that's loud and you'll be the one that's saying, come on, get forward, meet people. You'll push that person to be much more, because you want it all in balance. And so that way you don't like loudness either. You don't like people fighting. You don't like arguing. You don't like the voices to get up. You don't mind debate. You're really good at a healthy debate. And there is such thing. Somebody argued with me once that there's no such thing as a healthy debate. Well, try to be a philosopher just for one day and you'll know there is. So you're okay with a healthy debate, but it doesn't have to get loud.
Let's take our break right here. Our guest tonight, Holly Hall. Everything just started off on the right foot, Holly. You stay right there. Perfect conversation tonight. We're talking about astrology. We're going to get into the more about the meaning of life and where you are, maybe some Akashic Records, and of course, some predictions too as we head into the new year. Holly, stay right there. This is Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. We'll be right back after this short break. Stay with us. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to get your alerts and access to over 2,000 videos. That subscribe button right now. Go to jimmychurchradio.com and get the Fade to Black official podcast. 2,000 episodes, all of them commercial free for just $2 a month. I am hosting, speaking, and presenting once again for the Conscious Life Expo, the largest conference of its type in the world. February 20th through the 23rd, 2026 at the LAX Hilton. Speakers, event schedule, easy. Just visit consciouslifeexpo.com. I will be hosting and speaking at the Sedona Ascension Retreat, March 20th through the 22nd, 2026 in Sedona, Arizona. An amazing list of speakers, and it's beautiful Sedona. Come and hang out with us and just go to SedonaAscensionRetreats.com. I'm heading back to the Midwest for the Contact Modalities Expo, May 1st through the 3rd, 2026, in Delavan, Wisconsin, at the Lake Resort. It is beautiful. This is a great conference right in the heart of the Midwest, where I'm from. I'll see you there. Just go to Contact Modalities Expo, that's XPO.com. I will be hosting and presenting once again at Contact in the Desert. That's May 28th through June 1st, 2026, the largest UFO conference in the world. Come and hang out with us June 23rd through July 1st. Tickets and everything else that you need is at contactinthedesert.com. Want to change your life? Want that paradigm shift? Then visit Peru with Brian Forrester and myself for the Inca Celebration of the Sun, June 23rd through July 1st, 2026. A full 10 days of visiting the country, all of the amazing sights, and of course, the celebration of the winter solstice. It's all simple to do. Go to hiddenincatours.com. Come join us for the Monty Python Scotland Tour, August 1st through the 9th, 2026. This is a once-in-a-lifetime event where you get to go to the castles from Monty Python and the Holy Grail. August 1st through the 9th, 2026. Just visit HaleyARamsey.com. Watch Into the Vortex on Gaia TV. It's Fade to Black for the screen. Simple to do. Go to Gaia.com, search Jimmy Church, or click on the link below. Follow Fade to Black on Twitter at JChurchRadio. Get all of the show updates every single day. It's now called X, but who cares? Go to jimmychurchradio.com and become a Fadernaut. Get a membership. That's right. Everything is commercial free. You have access to downloads, and you get to call yourself a Fadernaut.
Jimmy Church, Gaia TV, Fade to Black, here at Machu Picchu with Brian Forrester and Hidden Inca Tours. Amazing tour so far, Brian, but we're here to announce what we're going to do next year in 2026. What's going on?
Okay, November 2026, we're going to have our major tour of Peru and Bolivia, either a pre or post tour of Paracas and Nazca on the coast. And then after that, 6 days in Easter Island.
Bucket list, Easter Island. Come join Brian and I and his amazing team here at Hidden Inca Tours for Peru, Bolivia, and Easter Island. Signing out. Say goodbye, Brian.
Bye, gang.
River Moon Coffee, makers of the Fade to Black blend. Truly the best coffee on planet Earth. Just visit rivermoonwellness.com or their Amazon store. It's all simple to do. You can check out the Fade to Black blend, the Game Changer blend, or any of their Black Moon wellness products. It's the only coffee I drink. It is the best, and it's Doc. Again, rivermoonwellness.com. All right. Welcome back. Fade to Black. I am your host, Jimmy Church. Tonight, Holly Hall is here. We're talking astrology tonight. We're going to get some predictions in. I just had my mind blown. She did a little mini reading of yours truly earlier. And if you're just now getting into the show, you got to go back and watch my face. Yeah. Holly, yeah, absolutely incredible, and thank you for that. And
my pleasure.
Yeah,
my honor to read for anybody.
My astrologer friends are all going to call me tomorrow in rotation, going, okay, all right, this is what's going on.
You're cheating on them.
Well, see, astrologers listen to each other. Oh, I wanted to add. Okay, all right. Before we jump into some other stuff, I love the astrology community and their deep-seated knowledge in this, right? Okay. But man, do they make fun of certain signs. It's really, it's really weird. And I always bring up Sagittarius. I bring up, Sag, he's a Sag, she's a Sag, right? It's just, and it's because they have knowledge in this subject. And if you can't laugh at yourselves, right? But what is it with that, with certain signs that have these character identities tied to them? and that's it. And in the astrology community, which is warm and lovely, if somebody comes into the chat or whatever, I'm a Sag, and then you'll see it light up. I'm saying Sag because that's the one that seems to be a pretty good fun target. And I don't know why that is. Why is that?
The ones I've heard mostly is Scorpio and Virgo. And
really? Okay. All right.
Sag I can definitely see, and Gemini I could see too. Those 4 are
Check
probably
this
the
out.
ones that
Check
get
out
the
as you
bad
said
rap.
that, this popped up in the chat. Not Scorpios.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
I think it's because, well, there's a lot of complications around Scorpios. I would say Scorpio, the sign of Scorpio. I'm not going to say all Scorpios, because you could be a Scorpio and have a whole bunch of Libra in your chart, and that makes you a completely different person. But Scorpio is the most powerful sign of the zodiac, for good or for bad. But it is the phoenix, it is the snake, and it is the eagle. Those are its 3. It's the only one that has 3 symbols.
And I
And
have been
Sages just
told-
don't know how to settle down. So nobody's happy with a
Right.
Sag, because there's like flighty little fairies that just want to go around having fun in life, and they just don't want to settle down. They're travelers, they're wanderers.
Flighty little fairies that
They
won't
are.
settle down. Okay, fair.
That's how I see them. They're very smart, they're very intelligent, they're very much into the future, they're very prophetic. They've got great vision, they're extremely sarcastic sense of humor, but they don't want to settle down.
I'm looking at this. This is just so awesome, because just bringing this up, has lit up the chat room, and I totally dig it. I was told most of my life that I was Libra with a Leo rising, and I have since been told by my astrologers that that is not true. Is
You
it?
have a Leo rising. You look like a Leo too. You look so much like a Leo. Yeah.
Is that good?
Yeah.
Is that good?
Leo rising, I have a Leo rising too. And I also have my North Node in Gemini, which you have your North Node in Gemini too. So we both have the same destiny planet, or the destiny sign. But a Leo rising we can come across as very engaging, very extroverted. Actually, you're introverted. 65 to 70% of you is quite introverted. Actually, nobody would guess it in a million years. But the way you engage with the public is very conversationally. You feel like if nobody's making enough conversation in the room, you're the one that has to contribute to it, to keep people together. It's a bonding thing, and that's the only reason that you do it. But and it helps people not be introverted. So you can take like 50% of the introverts in the room, and you can have them get along because you spark the conversation between them. So and you can peg that. You can tell that there's some thickness in the air, and I'm gonna get some humor going, or I'm gonna get conversation, or I'm gonna get the archaeologist to talk to the spiritualist. Like you're that person that wants everybody to get along. So people assume you're extroverted. People assume I'm extroverted because I talk well, or I speak well, or I like to speak when I'm talking about what I like to talk about. But you're introverted in the sense.
That's also very interesting. I encourage everybody that's listening right now to reach out to Holly, and only because of what you just said and what you have already said. I have settled into that. I wasn't always that way. I had no problem being very gregarious. That's a part of me that I love going out on stage. I have my whole life. Obviously, I've got guitars hanging behind me, and I've always, been that type of person. Not everybody's that way. As I get older, what I have found is, although getting up on stage or doing this show or TV or film, whatever, I love that. I enjoy it. I don't have stage fright or anything like that.
Yeah.
I have a
No.
very clear mind, and
No.
I can just go and do my thing. But I don't seek that out now. And I'm finding that private life is so precious. You know, being out there, being around people and being okay. I don't want that to stop. I enjoy
Yeah.
it, but man, do I love to get home and
Yeah.
just do my own thing. And I didn't used to be like that. I always had to be around people. You know, I always had to leave the house. What am I doing tonight? I got to go do something. I've got to
Yeah.
go. I got to go. I got to
Well,
be
you
with.
love to communicate. You love to talk. So you'd be walking around the house talking to yourself all the time then if you didn't get out.
Like I do now. Yeah. Yeah. Just walk around and bitch all day by myself. I've turned into that old man. I've turned into
No,
the old man. I've turned
no.
into the old man, the guy walking down the street that you see talking to himself, right? He's like, "Ah, son of a bitch." I'm that guy now.
I'm that guy.
I never used to be that guy. I fought it. I fought it so hard.
And you probably argue with yourself too.
I did it all day today. I did it all day. I'm good. I'm good at debating myself. And you know what? When you get to the end of the arguing with yourself, you're usually pretty honest. And
You always win.
yeah, you always win. And you're like, okay, that's the decision. Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Don't even get started with Libras trying to make decisions. Can't make decisions for the life of you because you always see both sides of the coin.
You know what I do? I make decisions, but I also let other people make decisions for me.
That's helpful. That's what most
Yeah.
people that have a lot of Libra, it's easier if somebody else makes a decision because there's a very little chance that you'll make the wrong decision for them. So if somebody wants to go to a restaurant, you'll be like, whatever restaurant you want to go to, whatever makes you happy. And it's true. You're fine. Whatever makes them happy, you know?
I
So,
so often I did it a few times today in some very, very important phone calls. All right. Asking me for a decision in my opinion. And my answer, you know what? You guys do it. I'm a team player. Whatever works out to be the best, I'll go with that. I would rather do that than make the decision. And I'd rather let somebody else pull the trigger and do it for me.
yeah.
And that's also that comes after years of building up trust in other people.
Yeah.
The world is in flux at the moment, and there's
Yeah.
no question about it. I look back at history. You can look back in any decade and see the turbulence there. I mean, how crazy was 1945, right? How crazy was the 1950s? How crazy was the 1960s? You know, the only chill out period kind of was the 70s and disco. But there was always something crazy about each day. But I gotta say, the world is tripping right now, like no other point in history, in my opinion. Do the charts point this out too?
Yeah. Yeah. So there's a couple of different things. If you look at the Mayan calendar, there was a whole thing that 2012 was going to be the big, change of the world or the end of the world. But you look at the Ethiopian calendar, 2020 in the Ethiopian calendar is actually 2012. Okay, that's in our 2020, the Ethiopian calendar was 2012. So you put those two things together. Ever since 2020, you guys were the United States specifically, it started in 2023 to 2024. You are in your first Pluto return. Pluto makes a complete cycle every 248 to 249 years. So in 2026, but it's actually happening. Then last 2023 to 2026, Pluto is completely going to a return, which means that on a monetary level, because it's on the second house, and about control, because it's in a Capricorn, we're looking at a complete overhaul of the control system that started 258 years ago, 1776.
Wow.
And everything has to change. The monetary system everything that was birthed in the United States. So the monetary system, the government system, the governing system is going to start in the East. And the only reason is demographics. That's where the United States started to be built, was on the East. California was way years
Right,
down,
right, right,
right?
right, right.
So it'll start in the East of the United States. And anything that the United States and Canada as well, because we're not too far behind, has fostered, has built, which is called the Western world, is going to be just cracked open. And it has to be, because it's a rebirth. It's a death and a rebirth. It's the rising of the phoenix. So everything that is not sustainable on a galactic level, on a universal level, on a God level, on a source level, whatever you want to call it, whatever is not good, okay, is not functioning well, it's going to be cracked open. Everyone's going to see it for what it is. And there are people out there that are here to usher that in. And we know some of the top podcasters that are ushering in very dangerously some of what's being cracked open. And it has to be. People are shocked. They're like, how much more can we take? Why is this going on right now? Well, you guys, it's been going on for centuries. You just didn't know it. It's always been there. And you just didn't know it. Now, what is good? What is bad? Everyone is born to be here. Like the people that you hate or you don't like, they're here for a reason. They're here to play the part, to show what needs to be shown. So the louder they are, the more obnoxious they are. That is exactly what they're supposed to be like. They're supposed to stumble. They're supposed to make mistakes. They're just supposed to screw up so that we can, or they're supposed to be very ugly so that we really see what's wrong in our galactic energy. This is good versus evil, but I don't like to call it good and evil. I like to call it negative and positive. As a Libra, you'll understand this. We need both, right? The magnetic pull is because two opposites will, attract each other. You need both. You can't have one without the other. So we do need both, but it's out of balance right now. The masculine energy, the feminine energy, whatever you want to call it, completely out of balance. So yeah, it's ugly and it needs to come out. And this is the yin and yang, as someone said here. And we got everything from, seen someone in a chat bring up 3i Atlas,
I just saw that.
Yeah.
And there it is right there.
I follow it. Like I've been following it from the word go. Like I just love everything that's being said about it.
Okay, let's circle back to 3i Atlas. I'm going to lead this up so we're both reminded of it. But I just want to understand what you just said, because it's pretty heavy. I just watched the new Kevin Burns docu-series on the American Revolution, and I learned a lot from that, by the way. I just thought it was just a couple of things and then boom, done. I didn't realize it was a 10-year war. And I'm American. I should know these things, but I think most of us don't. Anyway, so I just watched that, and I watched the struggle of that to pull that off. And what you are saying, if I'm that Pluto, this is the 250th anniversary of the United States. And you're saying that in 2026, Pluto will be in the same position that it was in 1776.
It already is now. It has been
well,
since the end of 2023.
Right.
And it hit again in January 2024. What happened in January 2024 in the United States?
I don't want to be reminded. And here's the thing.
Like I said, the loud and the obnoxious have to come out. They have the boil has to fester.
For sure. Sure. The boil has to fester. I don't do politics on the show. I do the conspiracy of politics. I don't do politics. And I don't do religion.
Because I know it's all right and it's all wrong.
Right, exactly. And I don't do religion, but I do the conspiracy of religion. It's much more fun, by the way.
Yeah.
But if we take all of this into consideration, and especially after seeing this Ken Burns docu-series, that was that was a war we should have lost like 50 times. Okay? We didn't. Somehow we didn't. But you watch that and the struggle that the Union, the 13 colonies, future states, and what they went through, that was nuts, crazy. And to think that, when we look at the state of things today, the State of the Union, and Pluto being in the exact same position at that 250th year, that kind of checks a lot of boxes for me.
Mm-hmm.
That's I hope it doesn't. You're right, though. Sometimes you got to go to the edge of the cliff. You've got to go to the edge of the cliff and take a peek. You have to see. You have to understand it. You just can't. You know what I mean?
Okay, we're in a cleansing, and it has to. Everything that needs to be cleansed has to come to surface.
We just went through. We're still going through it, but over the last few months, and I think this is one of the only times in history that this has happened. We had 2 or 3, possibly 4 comets and celestial objects and interstellar objects in our star system at the same time. And what is the influence on that when it comes to not only your charts, but to have cosmology get involved in our star system all at the same time? That's pretty incredible. That's like not once in a lifetime, but once in history time.
Right.
Pretty crazy, right?
Right. Well, there's just so much being exposed right now. That's one of them, which is making NASA very controversial and the government very controversial, because people are wondering, why isn't NASA showing us accurate images and accurate pictures? And you got, Avi Loeb, who's talking about more controversial about what it really is, because it doesn't, and he's very scientific about it. It doesn't show typical signs of this. It doesn't have a tail. It's kind of went around the sun. It's changing speeds. It was moving towards Jupiter, and then it went off in a different direction. So it is definitely acting very different, but on a spiritual or however level you want to call it, it's more to show us that maybe there's some scientists out there that don't have our back. Maybe they just want to know more before we know more. They don't want certain things to be exposed, like we know the whole controversial with in September, when they tried to have another, year of disclosure. They had the hearing in the White House, and they wanted, Donald, they put the 64-page thing to try to disclose what's out there. It's coming out. And some people don't believe it, and it really doesn't matter. If they don't believe it, they don't believe it. Let them just, smile, wave, let them walk away. But it's all coming out. It's making us question. It's making us wonder, what really is it? If you take a look, Hollywood's smart, right? Take a look at the movie, what was it, 8, 9, 10 years ago, called Don't Look Up.
Oh, one of my favorite movies.
Yeah. I watched that movie, and I don't like violent movies. And when I got to the end, I was like, oh, why did I watch that?
Man,
but
it's the harshest.
Very metaphorical.
And oh man,
it was a terrible ending. It was the ending that's expected, I guess, but it was like The Matrix. I watched The Matrix when I was a teenager, and it scared the bejesus out of me. Everybody else was going, cool movie, right? I'm going, did you know what they just told you guys?
Yeah, that was a documentary, man.
That part?
Yeah,
I was
go
like,
watch it.
Freaked out.
And the same thing with,
and my friends are like, cool movie.
The same thing with Don't Look Up.
Yeah, metaphorical, very metaphorical.
Disguised as a science fiction comedy, which it was all of that. It certainly was that. Jennifer Lawrence, man, she was so good. Leo was so good. But anyway, the actual play on society, the way that it was presented there, was so accurate. I mean, it just forced yourself to go, man, this is exactly how we are today. This is how we act. This is how we handle things. And for some reason, this type of life is accepted now. It's really weird. And that movie just hit it on every cylinder. It was so good. Now back to 3-Eye Atlas and the comparison to Don't Look Up. I want your take if it's ET or not. One of the things that, Holly just dropped out. Just like that. See, right when it was getting good. Well, it was already good. Holly, I'll wait right here. I'm going to say this as we wait for Holly to come back. One of the things that isn't talked about is science is trying to say and to convince us that Three-Eye Atlas is older than our star system, right? Over 5 billion years old, possibly 7 billion years old. I will ask the hard question right now. How is it possible that something that is 7 billion years old? Okay, Holly, are you there? Are you back? Okay.
Yeah. Sorry
Okay,
about that.
here's the question about Three-Eye Atlas.
Yeah.
How is it possible for science to say that it's a comet that is 7 billion years old and over 7 billion years has not burnt up everything inside of it? How is it possible to have gases and water and everything else propelling this and doing this, and to have an unlimited fuel supply that lasts for
Yeah.
7 billion years?
And it's
That
all
I'm not saying it's 7 billion years old either. What I am saying is there's a problem with their statement in this, right? And what typically happens to a comet, most of them fly by our sun and break apart, right?
Yeah.
And
Or
none,
Jupiter actually takes out about 80% of them, so they don't hit Earth.
that's why Jupiter saves us every
It
single
does,
day.
and it's the beneficial planet. That's what I think it's so cool. In
It's so cool.
astrology, it can never do any wrong.
It's a drain that everything eventually washes down, you know.
Yeah.
So, but what's your take on Three-Eye Atlas? Is it ET or is it natural?
I think it's sent by ET. I don't think it's a mothership. I do think it's sent by them to observe our reaction to it. That's my take on it.
It's pretty
I
solid.
can't pretend to really know a lot about it, but I do believe it's meant for us to be awake. It's very simple, like it's very similar, Chris Bledsoe. I had him on my channel too, and he sees the orbs. For him, they're angels. For a lot of people, they're ETs. We never and a lot of people seen him. I seen him. I was at the PSI games. I seen it when I was on the rooftop. And
yeah, that was crazy, wasn't it?
it was you couldn't deny it.
Why didn't you come up to me and say hi?
You saw me. I stood up. I asked Diane Hennison a question, so I was up at the front there. And Nicola Farmer was that's why I went there, to see Nicola Farmer, because we'd never met in real life, and I wanted to meet her. So I said, I'm going to PSI games, and she's like, I'm going to go too. Let's meet up. But yeah, next time I will, because I'm trying to get to the next one.
That was a pretty.
Oh, that
funny
one
event.
too, like with the girl. Yeah, that was just insane.
You know what's funny about that? It's all a blur now. You were there. You saw me on stage for 10, 12 hours a day.
Yeah.
I was worn out. But there were some highlights there. Do you remember when I passed out on the stage and fell on my back? Did you see me do that? It was either Lido. So. It was either Lido or Dahlia. One of them did something crazy on stage.
Oh, yes. I thought you somebody helped you sit down though. I didn't think you fell all the way to the ground.
I went straight to my back. Yeah, that was crazy.
Oh, I didn't see that part.
But yeah, wow. There was some extraordinary.
I was sitting right behind the judges.
So you're on that side. Okay. Yeah. So you were there when we brought the colors all the way to the wall. You were on that side.
Oh yeah, I was on that side. Yeah.
Was that crazy or what?
That was crazy because she was naming them before they even got out of the box.
She was. It was faster than I could look at it. Yeah. I was like, man, that was just so much fun. Hold on. I want to pull this up. This is from Esperanza. She says, wondering what Holly thinks of the recent new moon Mercury Cassini.
Oh, I have not. That's more astronomy. I haven't really I don't pay attention to other planets' moons.
Okay.
So I'm not quite sure. I saw somebody say, why isn't Ceres considered a planet? It's because it's not big enough. It has to be a certain size to be considered a planet, like Pluto got downsized. But I'm keeping Pluto as a planet.
Yeah, yeah. That Pluto got screwed. I mean, that once you get admitted into that club, that's permanent.
Yeah.
That's permanent. You can't get voted out of that club.
No, like, sorry, I'm still reading Pluto. Pluto's very important because Pluto tells me a lot about people's past lives. It tells me a lot about who they've had, who their soul family is. Like if you have Pluto with your moon, your mom came from a past life. You got Pluto with the sun, your dad came from a past life. Could have been positive, could have been negative. I can tell from that with a square or trine or whatnot. So Pluto's important to me. I have to keep that up. Plus, I've got a really strong Pluto in my chart, and I like it there.
Well, when you look at, and I've done this, I don't know if you've done this, but I have a pretty good telescope, not a great one, but I got a pretty good telescope. And when you look at Jupiter and you peep it out, most people don't realize when you look at Jupiter, you're looking at Jupiter, but like 8 of its moons. You
Yeah.
know, it's a little mini star system sitting out there, and
Yeah.
you're looking at that and what's the I'm not so sure if we call those moons. You know what I mean? It's like
You don't look
calling
like nothing looks like our moon.
uh it's nuts. And that's like saying we're a moon to the sun. No,
Mhm,
we're a planet. So,
mhm.
and Jupiter's a gas giant that could turn into a sun, by the way, and it's
Mhm.
got its own collection of stuff around it. Those are if you can see them like that through a telescope, those
Oh, yeah?
moons are huge.
Yeah. Are they perfectly round? They're like rocks, aren't
Well,
they?
no, you don't see them like that. Come
Oh,
on,
okay.
Holly. What kind of telescope do you think I have?
I
And
want
no,
a really good one, but the one I want's too expensive.
I know.
I'm like, I'm
Trust
not
me, the
gonna
one
bother with a cheap one. I'll just forget it.
Yeah, the one that I want is it's a tough one to get to. But
The one
let's
I
talk
want's
about
in
past
Mexico.
the one I want's in the Atacama Desert in Chile.
Exactly.
Um the um the idea for past lives. I've been regressed, by the way, but I didn't do a past life regression.
I do
I didn't
past
do
life
that.
regression too.
You did?
I do them for my clients.
Oh, you do them?
Yeah.
So I look at I don't want the past to dictate or affect my future. I live in the now and I consider tomorrow. That's my basic philosophy.
It's good.
I'm going to write a book on philosophy, and I think that's what the title is. So that was a joke. You're supposed to laugh. Um
I was like, I want to read that book.
what yeah. How important is a past life to take into consideration?
Well, let's put it this way. This life you're living right now will be your past life soon. So how important do you want to make this life? Because it's going to set you up for the next life. It's important to understand what you came with, like the talents and the gifts and all of the attributes that you came with from a past life. Sometimes it's good to understand relationships that are in this lifetime that are hard to understand now, but when I look at the past life, it's easy for them to understand, like, oh, that's why I chose my parents, or that's why I had a brother like that. That makes a lot of sense now that I understand the past life. I had one client, I put her through 3 past lives. That's usually what I do, is about 3 in one session. And it changed her relationship with her parents forever, in a good way, like forever. And she was in her 40s and she was very estranged from her parents and angry at them. And it completely changed it forever, to the point where she actually moved back to Europe and spent 6 months with them. So I think it's important to understand. And your moon is your past life. Whatever Pluto hits in your chart is your past life. 12th house is your past life.
What is mine?
Your moon is in Gemini in my astrology. It's in Gemini in the 11th house, which means, like I had said, you were like a speaker, a teacher, an
Oh,
educator,
okay.
a writer, a philosopher. You stood in front of crowds and people listened to what you have to say. But you were very right. You were very correct and you're very righteous about it. Not in a bad way, in a good way. And you were also could have been in a lawyer form, kind of like I said, like Plato or Socrates, right? Where you stood up and said, this is the truth. This needs to be heard. People need to know this is not fair. And it was well reverend back then. A lot of politicians then were lawyers and philosophers as well. So that's one of the things that you did. One of the few things that you did. You've also got Pluto is trining your Mercury, I believe. Let me double check that. No, Mars in the third house. Again, like teaching. Did you want to be a teacher when you were younger?
I did.
Yeah. Because
I
it's
did.
pretty
Yeah,
much
I
what you did.
absolutely. Well, that's all I've done is teach. That's all I do is
Yeah, it does. You don't have to be a physical, like, a traditional teacher to teach. But yeah, you were a communicator, a teacher, very linguistic. Even in a past life, you knew different languages. I don't know if you know in this lifetime, 3 or 4 different languages, but in the past life, you're quite linguistic. And you were, you were like a mediator. Like a mediator. It was very important. It was a very important job that you did.
wow,
And
interesting.
yeah.
No, I'm a mediator now. That's all I do is mediate, man.
Mhm.
And I enjoy it. I do. I enjoy it. I remember I was probably 20, 21, 22 when this started. When I started to teach other things. I taught guitar for a long time. I
Mhm.
taught art for a long time. I taught mixing records for a long time, recording studio. I'm talking about flying around the
You're
country,
self-taught.
around the
Everything
world.
you do is self-taught.
Well, and so what a lot of companies saw in me, I didn't necessarily see in myself, but they would approach me and go, okay, could you do this? Can you go out and do a speaking tour and teach this? Can you make a video for us and an instructional video? And I always wonder why me? I mean, there's people out there that are really good at that, but they really and once I got out there and do it, I enjoyed it and still do. I enjoy it so much. I love teaching, and that's what this show was about. I I don't know if you've ever listened to this show before, and it's okay to say no. But one thing that this audience hears every single night is I'm here to learn. And if I learn, then you are learning along with me. And that's what this show is it's just that's my philosophy. I'm not here for
Yeah.
clicks. I'm not here
Yeah.
for fame. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I'm not here for ego. I'm here to learn something. And I've been learning since we started tonight. It's been
There's
an
a there's a Buddhist saying that the greatest master knows that they have done their job when their student surpasses them. When their student surpasses them, they know that they have been a good teacher. And that's what a good teacher should want. They want their students to be better than they are.
help me understand the Akashic Records. Do you know how many shows I've done on the Akashic Records?
Yeah?
Probably 200. Ask me if I
Really?
understand. Ask me
I'm
if
going to
I
be going down some rabbit holes on your shows now.
So ask me how much I understand about the Akashic Records.
How
Just
much do you
ask me.
understand, Jimmy, about the Akashic Records?
Not a damn thing. Not a damn thing.
I'll explain it to you in layman's terms.
My friends right now, man, my phone is going to ring tomorrow. Only because I'm interested in it. And I had a vision when I started to look into the Akashic Records many, many, many years ago. And I had I pictured it a certain way. And all of that has been dismantled. And I'm not sure that I'm any closer to understanding it. So I'll ask you directly, what are the Akashic Records?
I can get very like physics and scientific, if that's what they want to call it, or I can talk in layman's term. I think I'll give you a little version of each. In layman's term, people think it looks like a library. You go and pick a book, and there's memories in that book. There's everything that's ever been done, said now, future, present. Everything's all at the same time in this library, so to speak, of memories and knowledge and information. In my understanding of it, I never really bought into the Akashic record either for the longest time because that's how it was presented to me. And I was like, nah, that can't just be it. I don't think it's that black and white. For me, it's just a knowing and an understanding that it's consciousness. It's the one mind. And the one mind we are all connected to, because we contribute to the one mind and we take from the one mind. So we give books to the one mind and we take books from the one mind, and we give and take information from it constantly, not just us, plants, earth, planets, like everything has consciousness, which we're starting to discover. Specifically, if you guys watch the telepathy tapes, which I bug all my clients to watch, because you see the reality of it and you can pluck from it. Sometimes you think you're daydreaming. Sometimes you think you just had a weird dream at night, or you're just got an idea out of nowhere. It's coming from the Akashic Records. People that have invented things all at the same time, that lived in different parts of the world, even have gone to legal proceedings because they're saying you took my patent, you took my invention. No, you were both contributing to the Akashic Records and getting information from it all at the same time. So everyone should have, should get credit for it. It's just all around you all the time. It's in H2O. That's a download that I got a long time ago. So it's in water. So there's H2O everywhere. It's in the air right now, right? It's in everything. It's even in a rock. Everything has H2O, and that's where consciousness lies. Consciousness is also love, and love is also consciousness, but love isn't, they're two separate entities as well. So it's there. It's always there. And for the longest time I did astrology, and there got a point where clients were going, you couldn't know that. Like I'd be using metaphors like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And they'd be like, that literally just happened word for word. That's what I said to my husband yesterday. Or I'd make a thing like, oh, like if you and your husband went to Bahamas and this is how you would, treat the vacation. They said, we just went to the Bahamas like 3 weeks ago. And that's exactly what happened. I get that from somewhere, from source, the Akashic Records. It comes from somewhere, and it's happened way too many times. So I can't deny it. I can't make sense of it either. I also believe our lives come from this Akashic Record. I use a metaphor like we go into the library, we pick a book, we open the book, and that whole story we're going to hopefully play out in this lifetime. And everybody else is picking books, and they're all living stories at the same time and reading this at the same time. And yeah, so it can be kind of complicated, but it's just consciousness, really.
How in stone is the information?
In stone?
Yeah. How permanent is the information? Because if you're looking at, forget about the past, that's in stone, right? The present, we're always in flux. But if we're looking at the future with the Akashic Records and we take a peek at that, the conversation is usually about all the possibilities are there, and let's look at each one. How permanent are those? And is that when free will and decisions come into play and then alter or possibly rewrite the future and our path?
Everything is happening all at the same time. Time is not linear like we see it on this planet. So everything is happening all at the same time. And you can alter it slightly if there's enough energy put towards it, which means collectively, not just yourself. You're not strong enough on your own to completely change a pattern. And that's really all it is a pattern. And that pattern can be shifted. So if you come from generations and generations of alcoholic men in your family, most likely you will be an alcoholic as well. But you can change the pattern. You'll struggle with it and whatever, and you can change the pattern. And you hope that you do. If you maintain your anger management, but you quit drinking, you haven't changed the pattern, right? So basically, and it wouldn't take a rocket science to predict that when you were younger. I probably grew up being alcoholic, just like his dad. And so these are patterns that we can shift and we can change. And when it comes to larger things, like talking about the future of our humanity, it's already happened. And it's really hard to conceptualize that, but it's already happening. It's happened. It's happening. Hasn't happened because everything is now. And we can shift it and change it and alter it collectively.
Which brings me back to my point. Okay, so let's imagine something for a second. This is my second book. I'm going to reveal it to you. So
Told you were going to write books.
we get them. I know, right? I've got it written too. It's right here. I just got to. Anyway, now let's suppose, and nobody steal this idea. That's uncool. Okay. This is time stamp for 11/24/2025 at 8:49:46 p.m. Pacific time. We get a message sent to us from a human 1 billion years in the future. Okay. And the message comes through, and they use all the energy that they've got, they to get this message to us right now. And that message is whatever it may be. Okay. And it could be something like, you know what, man, I know you're going to ask me, but you're going to keep looking for utopia and never find it. It never gets any better. You're going to constantly try to look for happiness, but it's going to last for the next billion years. Now, okay, that's a sucky message. But if that message is coming from 1 billion years in the future, that means it has already happened. How can we alter the future? Because if we do alter the future, then does that message get sent back to us in 1 billion years? That's the part that messes with my head. I can't figure it out. It's a very strange paradox.
You're right. So if you shift the paradigm, you should not have gotten that message. So the fact that you're getting the message means you didn't do anything. Is that what you're saying? Yeah.
Well, but what if, okay, so that's my point. What if a message like that slaps us upside the head, where we actually grow up and mature and become responsible human beings and earthlings, right?
Yeah.
And try our best to, achieve eternal happiness and bliss. Right? And then that alters the future. How can that be if the future has already happened, if we got this message from the future? So when we go back to the Akashic Records, you just said it's very difficult to change. We don't have the power to do that.
It's
as
perspective. It's
right.
Perspective, right? So if you see something like this, if you see it like this, it just looks like a square, right? Holly's holding a square. But as soon as I turn it, you can start to see it's a pyramid. If somebody sends something from the future, it's coming from one perspective, and we're not able to see it if we're not in alignment with that perspective. We're not able to see it if it looks like a square. We won't be able to see it. But as soon as we start changing our perception, we'll start to see the message. We've probably been sent the message 1 million times and never really seen it because of our collective perspective on it. It's always been there. If you're looking at an elephant's tail, in philosophy, that whole elephant, right? Philosophy. If you're looking at an elephant's tail and you don't see the rest of the elephant, you probably think it's just like a big rope. But in actuality, when you pull back and you look at the bigger picture, you see that it's an elephant. But if you never do that, you'll never know that that's what it is. So this elephant could keep giving you messages that, I don't know, it needs to move or something, and you're not going to get the message because all you're looking at is a tail. When they send us a message, if we shift our perspective, and this is going to get complicated, we shift our view because of the message that we received. We are now looking at a completely different reality. We're not in this reality anymore. So we're seeing a different future. I've always said to people that all of our lives are just like all of these pieces of paper. In between each piece of paper is a life, but it's all here at the same time. And it's such a thin veil. They're living with us right now amongst us. And it's a very, very thin veil. And I was glad when telepathy tapes came out because it was like, yes, I'm not the only crazy person who thinks like this, but I never had proof. So I really never bragged about my understanding of it. And I don't see it. I've not seen through the veil. I've not seen, but I do see different ways that people can go. I've had clients go, what if I make the wrong choice? What if I make the wrong decision? There is no wrong decision. There's 100 million options out there for you, and most of them will be good. Most of them will be fine. Most of them will cause you grief. Most of them will teach you lessons. Most of them will be difficult, and most of them will be amazing. But they're all, it's like, what if I turn on the wrong station? You got 100 stations you can choose. You pick the wrong one? No, there's no wrong one. Maybe you picked the wrong one because you don't like country. That's about it. Right?
Yeah, it's
Did that
fascinating.
answer your question?
It does. Well, I'll tell you why. So we go to that point for that individual 1 billion years in the future, right? Okay, and you draw a line from here to there.
Yeah.
And our path there. The deviations off of that, if we change something, along the way,
Yeah.
ultimately is still going to lead to that same point. But we have the free, so it seems like a big deviation, but in the long term, it's not. We're right on that line. And if you look at your own life, I do this all the time. My journey day by day is crazy as shit, right? And I just go back and think, wow, that was a crazy, and the stress or whatever, these crazy things. But no matter what, a new day happened the next day, right? It's really weird. It's really the things that we, and then I look at you and I talking right now. That journey is a very narrow path. It seemed like it was all over the place, but it truly wasn't. Everybody that you meet, every decision.
Not in a bird's eye view.
No, not in a bird's eye view. It's very, it's humbling and also calming when you look at it that way.
You have to really pull back. I think that's why my clients like working with me, because I pull back and I look at the big picture, because you can get really sucked into the rabbit hole, right? And you can get sucked in, you get stuck, and you can't budge and you can't move, and you're overwhelmed with mortgages. And like, I'm one that can talk about living. We're nomads. We sold our house 5 years ago. We owe nothing. We have everything is paid for, but we have, 3 or 4 vehicles. We have a beautiful place to live in, and it's a long story, but it didn't cost us very much to live here. We travel all the time. 5 years ago, if you told me I would do this for 5 years, I'd be like, no, I planned on moving into a house in a year. Up until a few months ago, I planned on moving into a house, and now I have no desire to own a house, not an iota of a desire to own a house. I don't want to own anything because I think it's a trap. Like, it's just like, why were we sold this picture, right? We were sold this playbook, and we all bought into it. And it's just like,
oh man, I'm so bought into it. It's, oh God, I'm up to my neck and bought into it. Let's leave on this.
Okay.
Let's leave on this. Oh, by the way, we've got your links up, which everything is ask Holly,
Ask Holly Hall, ask Holly Hall, ask Holly Hall.
It's all there. But we've got your main website up. And inside of that is your YouTube and your TikTok and your Instagram and all of that. So everybody go
AskHollyHall.com. Yeah.
Yep. Go follow Holly and go ask her something. But let's leave on this. I'm a big proponent of the universe is always listening and watching. And karma, which is an overused word. So taking karma out of it. Let's take karma out of it for a second. My motto, this is my 3rd book. It's the title of my 3rd book.
You've written a lot of books in the last 2 hours.
You motivated me.
Good
My
job.
3rd book is going to be just do the right thing. And then subtext, never do the wrong thing. If you live life by that, you cover all the religions, you cover teaching your children, you cover, just in that basic sense. And that is an outlier to karma, isn't it? If you're always doing the right thing, the universe is going to see that.
Yep. Especially even if you think you did the wrong thing, but your intention was wholeheartedly to do something right, that intention is very, very powerful. Very powerful. When you eat food, when you live in certain areas, and how you wear your clothes, or how you communicate with other people, and jobs that you have, if your intention is good, then that's what matters. And I had somebody ask me, like, what about politics? What about religion? Like, we have to teach our kids this. They have to know this. And who's good? And I go, no, they don't. Whatever happened to just teaching your kid to be a good person
Mm-hmm.
and to think for themselves and to
Right.
have an opinion and just try not to hurt someone and be conscious of who they are and love themselves. No religion, no political view, nothing is going to teach them that. They don't need it. They don't need that. They just need to learn that. You're 100% bang on. That's all we need. You don't need any of the labels to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, my daughter, Nicole, when she was old enough to talk to me, right? She's 1.5, 2 years old. I don't know if you have kids, but
Yeah,
she's,
I have a daughter.
she's starting to do, she's 30 now. But I started when she was like 2 with the philosophy of Jimmy Church, which was, honey, if you get to a point where should I do the right thing or should I do the other? But Daddy, how the right answer? You know it.
Oh, I got a
You know,
story. I got
yeah,
a story for you quick.
yeah, go ahead.
So my daughter, she's 26 now. When she was younger, I said to her one time, she used to like do these little lies all the time, right? Sometimes red-handed, like it was almost funny. And I said to her, do you know who knows you're lying all the time? She goes, God? No, she goes, you? I go, no. She's like, God? I go, no. She's like, who? I said, you. You know.
Yep. Yep.
And that's what should matter.
Yep. That's exact. And it's so funny how I didn't have a whole lot of guidance. You know what I mean? Or, I had parent rules and children need boundaries and stuff. I don't mean it that way. But if that was the philosophy that I just want right from wrong,
Mhm.
and the right thing to do is always hard. Okay. The wrong thing is easy. It's easy. Anybody can
But
break the
that's
law.
also very subjective. What is right or what is wrong? Everyone's right or wrong is completely different. That's the world we're living in right now.
It's
People are
so
so
true.
adamant about what's right or wrong
And again, why is there so much wrong and negativity right now? Because that's the easy road.
because
That's
it's a
easy.
divide.
That's easy.
You know what my
Being
favorite
in
saying is?
What's that?
My favorite saying is that everything in the world was red, there would be no such thing as the color red.
Oh, that is true though.
Mhm.
That is true. Holly,
So
you're the best. What a great show tonight.
thank
And
you.
I look forward to our next conversation and when our paths actually cross. But would love to get you back
I'm
on as
trying to
soon as
get
we
to
can.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, what was that?
I'm trying to get to a couple of the shows. You got one in Arizona and one in LA. I'm trying to get to one of those, so I hope we
Yeah,
can.
Arizona is in March, I think, in
Yeah,
Sedona.
March. Yeah.
That's going to be a fantastic event. And then the one in LA is the Conscious Life Expo. That's in February. That's 25,000 people. That's a
Yeah, that
big
one might be too close for me to get to, but I'm shooting for the one in
in
March.
Sedona, the Ascension Retreat. That's going to be
Yeah.
amazing. And the speakers and the way that's done. Plus, you know what? It's freaking Sedona, man.
I
And
know.
it's
I
pretty
haven't been
amazing.
there yet.
Oh, you haven't?
No. Our
Uh
dollar doesn't go a long way though. That's the thing, is like trying to get a hotel, and then we're probably gonna drive there. But
yeah, come to Sedona. And here's the thing. There's a lot of beautiful places in the world. There just are. It's all over. It's a beautiful planet. But there is nothing that can prepare you for Sedona and the color and the beauty. It's like nothing you've ever
okay,
seen.
I'm gonna be there.
It's like a
It's happening.
crazy painting. It's like, but it's real. You know, and when the sun is setting and you're out there and you're looking at the colors and the pageantry that is Sedona, you've never, it's overwhelming how
I have to
beautiful
go.
it is.
I'm going to be there. We'll be there.
Yeah, you'll dig it. You'll dig it.
love
Let
it.
me know. I'll get you all hooked up. Okay.
I will.
All right. Okay.
I'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you so much, everybody. It is askhollyhall.com. The links are below over on our website and throughout social media. Holly, enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you so much, and go be a nomad. Thank you.
Thank you.
Perfect night. And there you go, everybody. Starting another amazing week here on Fade to Black. Holly Hall, thank you so much. What a great conversation. And I am about learning. All right. I talk about it every day, man. Get my education on, and I turn around and get everybody else on the same page. What a great conversation tonight. Tomorrow night, Jason Quitt is back, also from Toronto, Canada. Tomorrow night, Jason Quitt is back for, I think it is Quitspiracy number 14. All right, so I'll see everybody tomorrow night. But until then, I'm your host, Jimmy Church, and all I've got is go back Lee Tappy. Fade to Black is produced by Hilton J. Palm, Renee Newman, and Michelle Freed. Special thanks to Bill, John, Dex, Jessica, Dennis, and Kevin. Webmaster is Drew the Geek. Music by Doug Aldrich. Intro, Space Boy. Fade to Black is produced by KJCR for the Game Changer Network. This broadcast is owned and copyrighted 2024 by Fade to Black and the Game Changer Network, Inc. It cannot be rebroadcast, downloaded, copied, or used anywhere in the known universe without written permission from Fade to Black or the Game Changer Network. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Go back, Lee Tappy.